good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this APRO webinar around kind of setting you up for scale, global payments in Oracle Financials. So this is all around APRO Banking Gateway. So John, if we can go to the next slide, please.
Yep.
So as a very quick introduction, my name is Richard Brammer. I'm Director of Strategic Go-to-Market, and with me, my colleague, John Nagel, VP of Sales Architecture, and we'll be taking through this session today. So next slide, please, John. So we've got half an hour today, and what we'd like to do is give you a high level of what APRO Banking Gateway is, highlighting some of the top features, going through a live demonstration, and this session is live. So please, we really welcome questions. Any questions you have during this webinar, please put them into the chat and we'll look to address those at the end. Okay, so John, next slide, please. Okay, so APRO Banking Gateway. So what is the challenge that our clients or customers today are facing? So businesses today are becoming more and more complex, as I think you know, with internal teams, customers and suppliers. They're based all around the globe, and this complexity is only going to increase. So finance teams and IT departments are having to really kind of tackle this and backfill these limitations of current technology with effectively people. This creates avoidable tasks which are manual, they're repetitive, people end up doing low-skilled work and comes at a high cost. They create additional risks to the business that can negatively affect employee satisfaction, which obviously in turn then creates even further risk. These highly manual processes prevent companies from focusing on core initiatives, as companies are just trying to keep their head above water, meaning they're becoming more reactive rather than proactive. So this is really what APRO does. So the APRO platform is specifically designed to address these very challenges. From global invoice automation, including kind of the new e-invoicing regulations, automating your AP and AR workflows, all the way through to bank reconciliation and cash application processes. So we're not going to go through everything today of what APRO does, but we're going to focus on bank and cash reconciliation processes. The APRO platform provides both the workflows and connections to remove these manual processes not automated by Oracle. And what we're going to show you today exists today. Over the past 25 years, APRO has built, it manages and maintains direct integrations with Oracle EBS and Fusion, and it builds and manages and maintains connections to banks across the globe. All of these are available to our clients out of the box. So this means clients don't need to build and manage these in-house. And as you're going to be able to see, these connections ensure a smooth and efficient reconciliation process. This increases efficiency of your teams, the accuracy of the work, removes that toil, increases the productivity and employee satisfaction, and allow our clients to deploy their skilled workforce to more valuable tasks. And it also allows your IT teams to focus their times more effectively, not having to manage and maintain those processes internally. So if we can go to the next slide, please, John. So an example of this, so if we look at the bank connectivity, off the shelf, out of the box, from a banking global solution, we have over 1,600 formats that we have today. That's over 500 bank statements, that's over 1,000 payments, over 100 direct debits, and over 25 acknowledgements. And these connections through, just a few examples, is host to host, SFTP, APIs, eBITs, or Swift. So if we go to the next slide, please, John. So that hopefully gives you high level of the banking side. And when we look at the functionality, it focuses on both inbound and outbound. So when we look at inbound, it's bank reconciliation, cash applications, customer remittances. And when we look at the outbound side, it's the supply payments, direct debits, refunds, and acknowledgements. So it's that end-to-end process that we find that when we speak to people who aren't clients today, what they're struggling with. Okay, so John, next slide. So yeah, so hopefully that gives you a good kind of a high level of what we're going to go into. And I'm going to hand over to John at this point for him to kind of go over the top features and then go into that demonstration. Okay, over to you, John.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, welcome all. Thanks for attending. Some of you, I guess, maybe I spoke in Las Vegas last week. Hopefully you all had a safe trip back. What we wanted to do is look a little and focus a bit on a part of the APRO Banking Gateway features. So while I was on the Oracle conference, I spoke with a lot of customers, but also a lot of prospects on what exactly do you do, and that is a bit on what I try to explain with this presentation. I try to do as much as possible live with a demo, but I thought, well, let's start with a little bit of an overview of what exactly we do, and I'm focusing for this short session on the cash application features. So if you're from the US, it's probably useful for your bank reconciliation. So if you load a by2 file, you have receipts from customers on it. That's where you can use this for. But also if you have logbox files or for checks, but also for ACHs and wires. And I'm focusing a bit on the ACH and wire process here. So what happens on your bank statement or on your logbox file, you will have some information on the payment done by the customer, but to clarify exactly what they're paying and to have a more detailed overview, you probably need remittance advices. And on the remittance advice, the customer will tell you exactly which invoices are paid. And that process of monitoring an email box, extracting the emails from the email box into the e-remittances module of APRO, the connection with e-remittances on the bank statement, and the connection with, well, actually indirectly, directly with Oracle receivables, I would like to show in this demonstration. This covers a part of that process, and that can be enhanced. So like I said, I'm now showing the process with a bank statement, but it can also be a logbox file. It can be a receipt file. Basically, any type of file coming from a bank or from a different source can be used and enhanced with that e-remittances module. As long as it is a readable file, APRO can use it and read it and use it for receipt creation. We do a lot more. I will quickly highlight that also during the demo, but the focus will be on the bank reconciliation and the cash application side here. So first of all, remittances. I'm going to show you how APRO is monitoring an email box, automatically importing emails, and it can be basically any type of format. So it can be a PDF file, it can be an email with the remittance in the body of the email. It can be Word files, Excel files, basically anything. I see that my typing area, but okay. So yeah, that can be loaded, and the matching rules in APRO will take care of the application of the correct customer. So if I move now to my demo environment, so here I have an email box, and that email box has in this inbox different types of remittances. So for example, if I open this one, this is an Excel template with invoices in it. You can see it's a long list of invoices in columns, which we can load. Hopefully I'm closing the correct one, yeah. So it can be Word files with remittances in it. It can be, there's again a Word file with just a simple table in it with the invoices, and basically any type of layout we can read, as long as we can find the transaction numbers in any sort of way. Then there's logic in it to identify, well, this is the number, and then it also identifies exactly, well, what is the amount being paid here. So that's what the system will automatically do. So like I said, APRO is just monitoring this email box. So if I log on to APRO, for a user, how it works is that you just open it and you go to the remittances workbench, and there you will see everything you have to process. For this demo, I'll quickly kick off the import process manually via the import option. This will then monitor that email box, and if you would see, we can see now the inbox is now empty, which means that APRO has imported everything, and now the import process will work. We are doing this for customers just using remittances like my examples with 5, 10, 15, 20 invoices on it. But we also have customers loading EDI files with 35,000 to 40,000 lines on a weekly basis. And also that we are capable of handling in this process. So what you have to do is actually just go to the workbench. I'll quickly go to the import overview to see, okay, is it actually done? Well, the import has ended, so now the OCR is being kicked off. So let's wait for that to end. Maybe a good thing on that is, if you were on Oracle Cloud World, we heard Larry and all his colleagues talk a lot on AI, which is something which also has our attention to see, okay, how can we incorporate AI in this process to make it even work better. So hopefully in the near future, you will see that the products of APRO will benefit from that technology as well. So now it's fetching the OCR results. So what we do with all the information we're getting, we're sending it off to our OCR engine, and that comes back with the results. And with the results, we're going to apply all the matching rules and logic we have. So currently, AI is not a part of that. Like I said, it will be, but now the matching is done based on logic we have in the system, based on matching rules, pretty easy ones to configure. So that's also a challenge for the OCR engine because, well, it already does quite a lot automatically. So yeah. So we have to work until it's completed. Sorry, I thought actually it was quicker, but I guess because of my OCR connection, it takes a bit more time. So now the recognition is being done. And I'm waiting for the status moved to workbench, and I'm able to process them. Maybe let me already go to one of them, then the rest will follow later on. So I'll go to my workbench. Well, a lot of it actually is already in, so I guess maybe it's just on that time. So what you see here is 3 need revalidation and 3 are validated, 7 are in use. So this gives you exactly what is the total number of remittances, but also where do as user I need to do something with. And that's only these 3 need revalidation. If it's validated, it means that APRO has loaded the remittances. All applications are done by the system. You can see now the new ones are being added here as well, so the numbers do not really add up, but that's fine. So here, for example, I have one from Deep Forest Raceway. If I open that remittance, and I can show you a bit on, okay, what exactly does APRO do? So here, all validations have worked, everything is done, everything is correct. So what did APRO do here? On the right side, I see the remittance. So this is the PDF or a Word file, or yeah, I think it's one of these two. You can see what the invoice numbers are, and you can see the amounts. And what APRO did do here on the left side, you see the information in white. That's what we directly get from the remittance advice. So the number, the amounts, and then we do a validation of that data with Oracle. And that's what you see here in the light blue. Maybe make it a bit bigger. So you can see that the customer you've identified is indeed that Deep Forest Raceway for all the invoices, and you can also see what the open amounts are. And here everything is matching. That's the reason why the status is matched, and this will be then validated invoice. And that's the reason why it is validated, and I don't need to do anything on that. If there is something wrong, so there is something you need to update, I can go to the need revalidation ones. Here also my things are loaded. And I can see here, for example, well, let me open this one, the RIP Marine one. So here, well, matching has been done. It is a long document with a lot of invoices. And also that is being handled by the system. So here 391 invoices are identified. Well, I did not set up any matching for these. So that is in the end what it is. But you can see that the matching logic can handle that. This is a small thing to fix, I guess. Let me cancel this one. And like that, the different remittances are processed, and you can see the results of that. And the thing you have to do as a user is to make sure that all these remittances are on the validated tab. And once they're validated, you can use them in the further process. So if I go back to my PowerPoint to just show you a bit, okay, where am I? So now I did the import of the remittances, and they're available in my e-remittances workbench. The next thing is what happens then? Well, you receive a payment from that customer. So they sent the remittance advice. Maybe it's on the same day, or maybe the remittance advice is received earlier than the money on your bank account or in your lockbox. But the second step is, well, you load a bank statement. And if you load a bank statement, what will APRO do? It will automatically check if there is a remittance advice which we can connect to the statement lines. So if I go now to my bank statement, you'll probably see, well, there is nothing loaded. So also here, I need to manually load a file. So I can click my file, I open it, and now it's automatically loading. And again, this is something which can be fully automated. Because of the demo, I wanted to do it manual because I just wanted to be able to show that also there is a matching done. So I have to wait for that process to complete. And once completed, it will appear in the list. And now I'm a little bit wondering, because normally that's instant. It's processed. Maybe I'm
But
just
I
a little
think
bit quick.
it's always a funny thing when we demo
There it is.
APRO, because how do you demo automation? So we have to put in manual steps and then tell you it's automated. But I think the great thing is that flow. If you set the approval process in the right way, that process is then fully automated. And the only time you can really need to do anything is if there's anything that needs your attention. So it's effectively lining up all of the needles in a haystack and allowing you to focus on those rather than having to manually go through absolutely everything.
Yeah. So what you see here is, well, I've loaded the bank statement, and on the case management tab, all lines from the bank statement, all 17 are shown, and all lines which are receipts, and that we identify that by the fact that, well, it is a receipt line, and then with rules you can say, well, but if it's a receipt, this particular line should not be a receipt for receivables. So you can exclude things if you want. For example, this expenses, or well, it's actually a receipt for a project or something. It's a receipt, but it's not in my logbox. It's sent to general ledger. So this is booked directly to a GL account. But if I go to my receipts, so all lines which are a logbox line, so where the receipt flag is on, they are shown here on my receipts tab. Making the link first to the remittances module. So you saw that I opened that Deep Forest Raceway remittance advice. The last line on this one is the receipt for that amount. And you can see in the description, there's actually no information on exactly what is paid, but still APRO identified these 3 transaction numbers. If I scroll a little bit to the right, you can see that the flag remittance connected is on. So this one means that the remittance advice is used to do this matching. So APRO searched with the information, so it knew that the customer is Deep Forest Raceway, and it looked for a remittance advice for this amount for this customer in e-remittances. And if it finds it, so in this case it found it, it will automatically connect it to this line. And I can actually show you that by saying, well, download remittance file. It lets me here see that remittance advice as well. And this is now connected to this receipt. What you can even do if you want that, if you create a receipt in Oracle, so that's automatically done by APRO. When APRO creates the receipt in Oracle, it can connect as an attachment this document to your receipt. So you always have also afterwards all information on that particular transaction available in Oracle. Oh, sorry, no, this one. So that's the matching which is done here. So if I go back to my cash application slide, so what I'm showing now is that I've loaded a bank statement file with all kinds of information on it. There's one line linked to remittance advice. APRO automatically identified it using that. The second use of this e-remittances module is actually if, well, maybe it happens that you've received a bank statement, the payment from the customer is on it, and you don't know how to apply it, and you're actually waiting for the remittance advice. But maybe that remittance advice is only received a couple of days after you have received the logbox or bank statement file. You've already created the receipts in Oracle, but not applied it to the correct invoice yet because you're waiting for that remittance advice. What receipt management and e-remittances is doing, this combination, is first thing, receipt Oracle receivables automatically sends back all unapplied receipts to receipt management. So in receipt management, I can see all receipts from Oracle which still need to be applied to the correct transactions. And this module will then also check in e-remittances if there is a remittance advice available. And if so, it will automatically connect it. And if you approve the matching, it will send that information again to Oracle, even possible with also doing the application of the PDF or Excel file to have all that information available again in Oracle. Well, how that works is because, well, the bank statement, if you're done with your bank statement, you approve everything and you send it off to Oracle. Given time, I will not go into that. But if I move to receipt management, When I go to the receipt management workbench, it should have imported all my receipts. Well, I have one unidentified and the rest is unapplied, but let me open this one. And you can see here are all kinds of receipts coming from Oracle. So let me open, because I know that this is the one I need to look for, to show you a bit on what exactly is happening here. So here there is a receipt. If I would open this receipt in Oracle, you see here it's cleared. It means cash management has done a reconciliation, but the status is unapplied. So it is not applied to any open transaction yet. But I can see that, well, Dragon Trail in my case is the customer paying, so it's already applied to the customer. But here also it says see remittance advice. So on the receipt itself, I got from my bank or from my logbox file, there's no information on the remittances, but well, maybe it is available now. With Oracle, you don't have that connection with your remittance advisor anymore. But with APRO, what we do is that, well, we check here. We have this receipt. You can see this number is the same number as what I'm showing here directly from Oracle. You can see here we are already, we say complete, we are already applying it to transaction numbers based on the source remittance. This means that we have found a remittance advice in the e-remittances module, which is now connected to this line. And if I push the show remittance button again, you'll see a sort of the same document as my previous one, but here again a PDF from the different customer, but with all the information and transactions which are paid. And this information is then used to connect it to the lines in Oracle. And the only thing I need to do here as a user, and I can actually automate it again, but I need to approve this. So if I say, well, it's already complete. So based on the matching logic, APRO identified this is probably what you want to apply. This is the suggestion. You do see here all available open transactions as well. So maybe there's something different. You can maybe do comparison, but well, this is matching. Then you can approve it. And if I approve it, you will see it's removed from this batch. And now in the background, there's a process running, which kicks off all the Oracle APIs, which Oracle has for the invoice applications. And it will, in the end, update this receipt with all the information. So if I wait a couple of minutes, then, and if I requery this invoice, it will be updated. So I'm not completely sure on top of my head how much the scheduling is. So it will automatically do it, but it might take some time in order to kick off that process. Given time, I will not wait for that. And that's high level, I guess, what I wanted to show in this demonstration.